Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. We just passed 4,000 subscribers right before it hit midnight for the New Year's. Happy New Year's, by the way. I can't believe it's 2025 already. Let's start off the year strong, and in this video we're going to talk about every wrestling game that we know about coming in 2025 or getting some updates in 2025. Let's get into this list because it's pretty big. Alright, first and foremost, WWE 2K25. This is the biggest wrestling game franchise that pretty much ran out all the competition back during the PS2 and GameCube era. This comes out in early March, but after all the negativity around 2K24, I don't think 25 will be as big of a seller. Unless 2K really brings their A game to 2K25, I fear the franchise could take a pretty big hit this year financially, especially with all these other wrestling games about to show 2K how it's done. Because of this channel, I will still buy the game day one, of course. However, I'm not very excited about this year's entry like I was with 2K23 and 2K24. Also, if this game is on last-gen consoles, then it will definitely be a copy and paste entry like the last two games. I really hope 2K can wow us this year, but we'll have to wait and see. So typically, this game has been releasing either in the first or second week of March. My guess is this is going to be the week of March 11th, which I believe is the second week. And yeah, I think they'll release it that Tuesday, and then, in the early access version, and then the standard version will come out that Friday. So that's my guess. It's supposed to come out by March, unless they decide to delay it to October like it used to be. But yeah, I think they like that sweet spot because it's right before WrestleMania. WrestleMania really boosts the sales of the game. But yeah, that's 2K25. First one on the list. Number 2, Ultra Pro Wrestling. This game is my most anticipated game overall for 2025 and beyond. I'm not a huge fan of the Aki style, but with everything else this game is trying to accomplish with its unmatched creation suite, its 100 original characters, its amazing art style by Hal Haney, its career mode that is planned, an online weekly show with a real championship on the line, and adding real wrestlers down the road, this could end up being my favorite wrestling game of all time and allow me to finally stop playing the broken 2K series that comes out every single year. No official release date has been announced. However, I feel the demo should be out by, I want to say summer, and then the early access launch soon after. Unless they just give up on the demo itself and just release the game and focus on releasing the game in early access. I would probably prefer that, because then we have pretty much access to the whole game that way instead of just a demo. I would say no later than the summer for the early access or demo. And then by the end of the year or early next year, the full release. That's my guess anyway. But because the demo was supposed to come out by, I want to say, no later than August or September of last year, and they put an axe on that because they really want to make sure that first impression is good. Because the first impression is probably the most important. So let's hope Ultra Pro Wrestling can knock it out of the park and be the greatest wrestling game of all time. Number 3. Now, we just talked about this game and Ultra Pro Wrestling on the channel, and that's the Wrestling Code. Now, this game has been in development for a very long time. We got a couple of trailers last year showing off King Kong Bundy and Chris Danger being added to the game. I'd say this game needs to come out by the end of 2025, because if they wait to 2026 or beyond, then a lot of people are going to have issues with its graphics, because they're going for that super realism, super simulation aspect, and fans are extremely picky when it comes to that. So if they're really going to go for the full best graphics and stuff like that, then I feel like they need to release it before the end of 2025, at the very latest January 2026, or they might have to start over or transfer it to, let's say, the Unreal Engine 5. So we'll have to wait and see on that. This game is probably my second most anticipated game on this list, because even though I prefer the art style and look and gameplay of Ultra Pro Wrestling, this game is like the opposite. It's like has the super realism graphics and everything, and I really like what they're going for. Anyway, so that has no official release, but it's got to have at least a demo this year, in my opinion. Number 4, Iron Galaxy's wrestling game. Now this is a rumor, obviously. Rumbleverse was a super fun battle royal wrestling game. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that had you jumping off buildings, giving elbow drops, and body slams like a Saturday morning cartoon. I love over-the-top wrestling games like this, WWE All-Stars, etc. So Iron Galaxy wants to bring the game back in a new way. Let's hope it's both online and offline. If it's an online-only PvP game, I fear it'll fail once again because the market is oversaturated with those. There's no official announcement of what this game is going to be or release date, but the main developer of the Rumbleverse game really wants to bring this back in some concept, some new version of it. So hopefully it's just a standalone wrestling game with all the cool over-the-top stuff that was in the other game, and we get a brand new wrestling franchise that comes out. That would be super fun. Number 5. Lucha Libre Legend of the Mask. Let me say that again because I butchered it. Lucha Libre Legend of the Mask. A side-scroller beat-em-up like Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon, Streets of Rage. This game sounds really fun, and for one, I can't wait to try it. Coming out on all consoles, spring 2025. Number 6. Pro Wrestler Story. Have you ever heard of a game called Golf Story? Ever since that game came out, there's been a bunch of copycat games for different sports. This one, obviously, is all about being a professional wrestler in an old-school pixel graphics RPG style game. Steam and Nintendo Switch are planned for this game. This game actually looks pretty fun. Like, I'm not big on like RPGs anymore, but since it's all about wrestling and building your career and everything and leveling up, I don't know, that sounds kind of fun to me. Hopefully it comes out on the Switch too. Number 7. Neckbreaker Visceral Pro Wrestling. We saw this game's first trailer last year, and it looks awesome. No official word on a release, however, I feel early access or a demo should be out by the end of 2025. The game's major focus is on the physics-driven dynamic gameplay according to its listing. Basically, depending on where you body slam your opponent in the arena or the environment, it'll make each impact unique because the body will react to whatever it's hitting, which is really, really cool. Kind of like ragdoll physics in a way, but I don't know. I just really like that concept because in WWE, when you try to body slam on something, it'll kind of like push you away from certain objects. I kind of wish it was interactive with everything around you. That's what this game's going for, and I think that's awesome. This feature alone is what gets me the most excited about this game. The game also plans to have a career mode, creation suite, and everything we've come to expect from a wrestling game these days. Let's hope we hear more info in the coming months. Number 8. Wrestle Story. In the same vein as WrestleQuest, this is a unique wrestling RPG that has full-on areas to explore, turn-based combat, character creation, and a unique original story. This is one of the games on this list that I am most curious about because it's so different. No planned release date, but this trailer was shown early last year, so let's hope it launches with the Switch 2 in the coming months. That's my guess. It's like it's going to be part of like the Indie Direct for the Switch 2 from the first ones. I think that'd be really good for this game. Alright, so now we're going to move on to games that are out in early access or getting more content. So first up is AEW Fight Forever, straight from the mouth of Tony Khan himself. The game is said to be getting more content. Now what that entails, we have no idea yet. But maybe Tony Khan misspoke, maybe he's not. We should find out in the coming months, so keep an eye on the channel. Personally, I just want everything that we've made that giant hot sheet for with Zaidi. Everybody put their 2 cents worth in, so more creation parts, better character creator, a pin system, a submission system, more match types, a better career mode where your stats can carry over for a second playthrough so it doesn't reset, all sorts of stuff. A universe mode, a MyGM mode. There's so many things they could add to this, but first and foremost, we need more matches and then a better creation suite. I feel like those are the top 2 things that people wanted most. So we'll have to wait and see if AEW is getting more content. Number 2, Casual Pro Wrestling. The developer of this game was shocked at the positive feedback from early access launch of his Ragdoll Physics wrestling game that he posted a thank you to everyone and is now more motivated than ever to keep improving the game. His name is Patrick Dinklage. Go check out the game's page on Steam. I'll leave a link in the description below. It is still early access, but the last few updates he's made, the game feels a lot better than it did when it first launched. So don't sleep on it. It's super fun, and it's currently on sale as of the making of this video for the next 18 hours for $11.24. Normally $14.99. So go check it out. Number 3 for early access and games getting more content. Now, Pro Wrestling X. If you've been on the channel, I usually do a yearly check-in on this game. Even though this game has been in development for, I want to say, 20 years at this point, every time they do an update, the game does feel better and better. Let's hope 2025 is the year the game finally gets its 1.0 launch. Number 4, Wrestling Empire. This game is always getting improved. M. Dickey is always adding new creative ideas, parts, gimmicks to this game. And if you're on Steam, then you can mod the game and make it even more fun. Now, there's one game I forgot to add to this list, but it's because I haven't really found any new information about it, and that's Ultra Violence Wrestling. So hopefully we get some more information about this in 2025. As far as I know, it hasn't been canceled, but we'll have to wait and see. So there you have it, every wrestling game in the works that should be out by the end of the year, or at least have a playable build. Which game are you most excited about? Sound off in the comments below, and as always, stay frosty.